Hi everybody, this is Brian from Art Party Unlimited. Today what I'd like to do is kind of show you an easy way to make sure that you have just enough liquid white on your canvas to make your canvas slick, but not so much liquid white that it ruins your painting. Yes, you can ruin your painting if you use too much liquid white. So for this exercise, I'm going to use a black canvas just so I can illustrate to you just how little liquid white you need. So I'm not suggesting that you should put liquid white onto a black canvas, but I have this black canvas here because I want to show you if you put it on thinly enough, you're going to be able to see a little bit of that black poking through. What we often find in class is that people will put so much liquid white on their canvas that if they were doing it on a black canvas, it would just be, there would be a thick amount of this liquid white sitting on top of the canvas surface, and that is going to cause problems because, as we talk about in a lot of our advanced classes, white robs the color from paint. So if you have too much liquid white on there, first of all, your canvas is going to be extra slick. And secondly, when you put your other colors on top of that, it's just going to churn in there, and your colors are going to become pastel-like, and it's going to be really, really hard for you to get paint to stick on top of other paint. So what we do here is we want to make sure that we have a very, very thin, even coat. So I'm not going to do the whole canvas. So I'm going to do a little spot in here just to kind of show you. I've got a little lid that's got a little bit of liquid white sitting on the top of it, so I'm just going to get a little liquid white into this brush. Now this is actually quite a bit of liquid white in here, so be very, very careful when you first start. But I got a little trick for you at the end if you don't. If you get too much on there, I've got a little trick. It's very simple, very common. We're going to use a paper towel. Okay. So I'm just going to apply this liquid white, and look what I'm talking about. See how here you can really not see very much black through there? That is an enormous amount of liquid white. So if you get a spot like that, just work that liquid white around. So you can use the crisscross strokes like Bob did on the episodes. You can grind it in, which is one of my favorite ways to do it in there. That way it kind of helps you really spread that out. But look how far I can actually spread that little bit of liquid white around this canvas. So you can really work this. If you get a little brush, brush hair, just come up underneath it, flick it off like that. So you can even scrub it in like this. You can pull some of this down. It's very important that you have just a very, very thin, even coat of liquid white on your canvas. Now Bob said that time and time and time again on the episode, a very thin, even coat of liquid white. But the problem is well, thin, even coat of liquid white is a very subjective term. So, what we've kind of learned over the years of teaching these courses, we've taught hundreds of Bob Ross courses over the years to thousands of students. We've noticed that there's a common pitfall, especially for the new painters, where they use just too much liquid white, and they don't believe me when I tell them, hey, it needs to be a thin coat. So I'm going to just speed up the video a little bit, finish this going. I'm going to go ahead and just coat the whole thing so I have enough on here to do it, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, now that I have that liquid white on there, clearly you can see that instead of being solid white, it's very gray, but there are some unevenness areas in here, and we can take care of those. I can tell that I have just a little too much extra liquid white up here. It's way more than I need. So really, folks, it's just as simple as taking a paper towel, and then gently wiping off some of this excess liquid white. It's just that simple, and it will really make your painting life much, much better. So I'm just taking and I'm just barely touching this canvas, very light touch, because I don't want this paper towel to shred all over my canvas here. Those little paper towel shreds are really kind of problematic for you, so do your best to not, but you can just kind of wipe off this excess. You can also use a blue shop towel, which is what I normally use, but I didn't actually happen to have any sitting next to me as I was doing this video. Blue shop towels don't shred nearly as much, but I'm doing I have a light touch, so I'm not doing too much damage. Now that I've wiped off that excess paint, it's all in my paper towel. I can just kind of throw that away and just take off a little more, and I am really ready to go. It doesn't have to be perfect. These little marks that are in here are actually okay because they're going to get blended in with the paints that I put on there anyway. So that's how you get yourself set up for success. So notice how thin that is. You can see a lot of that gray or from the black, so it's created a gray on the canvas. There's a lot of that there. That's fine. It just needs to be barely wet so that when you put your paints on here, they'll go ahead and they'll glide around. It'll make mixing a lot easier, but it won't be puddles of liquid white that are going to churn and mix with your other colors and ruin your painting from the get-go. All right. I hope that's been helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can look in the description in the video below, and there's an email address you can send me an email. Thank you so very much, and I hope to see you in class.